Good evening and welcome to the Jon Gaunt Show. Starmer, get a bloody backbone or get out of number 10. That's the title tonight. That's what we're discussing. I'm also discussing his whole hokey-cokey reaction to this war. And make no mistake, we are at war with Iran, and it's a war we have to win. In the Second World War, we had to beat Nazis. Now we've got to beat the Islamo-fascists. Are you with me or against me? I'm fed up with people saying, would you send your daughters to war? Imagine if everybody had said that in the Second World War. We'd all be goose-stepping down the mall and would all be speaking German. Get a life. Make a serious comment or shut the fuck up. Are you with me or against me? Oh, I've been off for a couple of days, but it's good to be back, and I do want your views. Write up your comments in the comment box, whether you're for it or against it. I just think this is another prime example of Starmer taking the knee, because I asked you a question. Did we really need another speech today from Keir Starmer about a war he's still refusing to back properly? We're out using our jets, but only for defensive reasons. We're letting them use our airfields, but only for defensive reasons. Now he wants us to protect our shipping as they go through the strait, and no, Starmer won't allow it. He's probably got splinters all the way up his arse because he's sitting on that fence. Because I tell you what Britain needs now. We need a Prime Minister with a backbone. We need somebody who basically puts Britain and the British first, whether it's at home or abroad. Did you see that disgusting demonstration yesterday in London? People preaching hatred, particularly against Jews, on the streets of London, and we allow it to happen. No, no, no. Let's get the enemy within in this country out, and let's organise how we sort out Iran. With me or against me? Put a comment in the comment box, because what we've got, instead of a Prime Minister with a backbone, we've got a man playing the hokey-cokey with war, and eventually and essentially with your kids' lives. He's half in, half out. He's shaking it all about. We're not talking about the Ukrainians tonight, though, because first he refuses permission for US aircraft to use British bases. Then he says, oh, they can, but only if it's for defence. What on earth does that even mean? Either you stand with your allies or you don't. And right now, the so-called special relationship is in the dustbin. The truth is, and this is what they don't want to admit, the Labour Party or the Labour government, Keir Starmer, is haunted by the ghost of Tony Blair and the Iraq war. So they're scared, they're petrified, they're frit, as Mrs. Thatcher would say, of being accused of backing another illegal war, so they'd rather sit on their hands. This is a ridiculous and unsustainable position, and I'll show you that during this show. As I say, to all of those who say, well, would you send your daughters to war? Well, what would you have done in the Second World War? In the Second World War, we stood up to fascism, to the Nazis, and with the help of our allies, America, and indeed Russia, we defeated them. Do you not think the Islamo-fascists are just as big a threat now as Hitler was? Because I do. And when I say Islamo-fascists, I don't mean all Muslims. I'm talking about the Islamists who state on the streets of London and other major Western European capitals that they hate us, they want to kill us, and they want to destroy our very way of life. That's who you're quivering about. We have to stand up to them. why on earth should Trump pay for NATO? Why should American boys and girls protect us when we're being wimps? We're being led by wimps. We must pull our weight. And if you can dismiss me if you want as a warmonger, people today have been saying you're not patriotic because you're siding with Trump. Well, I think Starmer is the enemy. So I'm not going to side with him. The man who takes the knee at every opportunity, the man who bends over as much as he stands straight up. He's not a leader. I was hoping in this speech today he might actually resign. He hasn't even got the spine to do that. So don't talk to me about being a patriotic person or not. I am being patriotic. We have to stand up to Islamofascists. I've just had a message from a very good friend of mine for years and years and years. He calls himself a socialist. He's part of the Be Kind crew. He just sent me a text. It's really wound me up saying, would you send your daughters to war, John? So I gave him my stock reply, which is, that's the most immature message I've had because it's childish. It's pathetic. We are at war with Iran and we have to beat them. We've already beaten them, as Donald Trump says, effectively. And you need to put your visceral hatred for Donald Trump to one side. To one side. And ask yourself, why has no other American president dealt with this? Why has no British Prime Minister? When this is the other one they're coming out with, it's an illegal war. No, it isn't. It wasn't illegal when Donald Trump and the Israelis went in first. But ever since we got attacked in Cyprus and our people got attacked in Dubai, it's certainly not illegal. And what about the fact that there's at least 20 Iranian terrorist attacks on us and on our people, killing and maiming them? You don't think we're at war with Iran? Grow up. We've got an absolute legal right to defeat this regime. It's a filthy fascist regime, and the truth is, most of it has gone already. Now what we need to do is protect our tankers and the tankers of the rest of the world, along with the rest of the world, as they go through the Straits of Hormuz. That's what we need to do. Because Starmer does a press conference today and talks about, I'll give you 53 million pounds of subsidy for increased oil and fuel bills. Have we learned nothing from COVID? That's not the answer. The answer is to destroy the Iranian regime. That's the answer. Because what's the alternative? Are you going to stand back and let them carry on bombing our Western cities? Are you going to allow them to keep on playing the terrorists in the corner? Are you? Get a bloody backbone, otherwise you're just as bad as Keir Starmer. This shipping lane has to be opened. Our tankers, America's, China's, and everybody else's needs to be able to go through there every day. Starmer is refusing to send British ships to protect them. Well, mainly because we haven't got any, have we? Not just his fault, also the fault of the Conservatives. We don't need a lecture about subsidising fuel bills, Starmer. We need you to get a spine and say, I'm going to stand up to the Islamofascists, whether at home or abroad. At home, you're going to chuck out all of those radicals who are preaching hatred on our streets. There's going to be no more demos. This is my wish list. There's going to be no more demos. There's going to be no more Jew hatred. None of it. It's going to stop. And then abroad, we're going to stop this Iranian regime. I think we have stopped it. We just need to finish the job. And the British people need to get a backbone. Because if you're not backing what I'm saying, you are as bad as Starmer. Do you want to have another anti-British demonstration in London next weekend? Because that's what's going to happen. But Starmer's got the nerve to stand there today, and he actually said this. Here's a quote. He's always standing up for British people. Standing up. Don't make me laugh. He's normally bent over, being given a metaphorical one, if you know what I mean, or he's kneeling. Remember that picture that I've got behind me when he's kneeling with Angela Rayner? She was probably looking to find out where all the money, the brown envelopes were for her council tax. I don't know, the stamp duty. But you take my point. The truth is this. Starmer is not standing up for Britain. He's bending the knee to our enemies abroad and the extremists at home. And that's before I talked to you about Mandelson and what's happened there. And the fact that he won't even stand up for that and apologise. The man is not fit to be Prime Minister. If you can't lead the country when the pressure is on, maybe it's time. Well, not maybe, it's definitely time. Get out of number 10. So here's the final question before we come to your views. Has Keir Starmer actually got the backbone to lead Britain, this great nation? Or should he pack his bags and get out of number 10? Because today's speech about this war looked less like leadership and more like a Prime Minister sitting on the fence again. This is Great Britain. He is turning us into standard Britain, as I said to you last week. And you, the British people, should stand up and say, no more. No more of this nonsense. Are you with me or are you against me? I'm going to come to your comments now. Feel free to put your comments in there. If you like what I'm saying, please press the like button. Please reshare the feed. Let's get the algorithm flying tonight and let's get the numbers through the roof. If you disagree with me, feel free to try and have a go. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. But let's discuss this. I'm back at my normal time, 6 o'clock. You're watching on YouTube, Jon Gaunt TV. You might be listening on a audio podcast on Spotify or on Apple. That's great. But why don't you register, subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube? It's free, and then you'll never miss a show. This could be a humdinger. Who's this from? Falcapair Grincho. Get yourself a decent name, mate. Sounds ridiculous, that does. Falcapair Greenus Nigger. What is it? Anyway, my main concern with Starmer now is that he will hand over the Falklands to Argentina. If the Argies reinvade, we'll be unable to justify, oust them. Again, he's corrected himself further down. That's correct. But let's concentrate on the here and now, the clear present danger, which is that he's not defending or supporting Trump. Now, listen, I know I'm in the minority. I know most people have fallen for the Labour trick. Labour have been pushing this illegal angle for days. It's an illegal war. Put aside the fact that what does illegal war mean? It means nothing. But put that aside for one moment. Even by the terms of being an illegal war, it isn't. It isn't. They have attacked our sovereign territory. We have a right now to put them out of the game. Not just Cyprus, the terror attacks which they've sponsored. I'm going to see what my audience is like tonight. I really hope my audience are going to stand up and support me and stop taking the knee and taking one for Britain. You go on about Mandelson, you go on about Starmer, but you're giving Starmer credibility if you don't criticise him. And if people go on and on and on, oh, we're only in this position because the the Tories have not been in power now for nearly 18 months. Yes, they take some responsibility for the state they left the country in, but let's concentrate on Starmer. He's meant to be in charge. Craig Urquhart says, I think the biggest embarrassment is that we have no effing kit to get involved. I think that's true. As I said that earlier, that's why we're not selling boats. We haven't got any. Oh, and that's the other thing now, that the angle of the mainstream media has turned to, oh, Donald Trump, you didn't want our help. Now you do want our help. It's not a playground squabble. We have to be a bit more intelligent than that. And I can't believe the number of people on Twitter, deliberately on Twitter, mostly on Twitter today, who have called Trump a paedophile with no evidence whatsoever. Their visceral hatred for Trump could lead to our country losing this conflict. And if you don't think this is our conflict, then you're as big a wimp as Starmer. Iran is trying to hold the world to ransom. I thought Trump was funny tonight when he said, well, we don't actually bring much oil through the Straits, so it doesn't bother us on one level. But it's China, it's Europe who needs that oil. He's got loads of oil. Now, of course, we've got loads of oil. We should be paddling in oil if that dork, Ed Miliband, allowed us to get it out of the ground. Just like coal. We've got enough coal for the next 7 to 10 years. But he won't let us dig it. And did you see him yesterday getting really chirpy and aggressive with Laura Kuenssberg? Who does he think he is? And he's pulling Starmer's strings. And then people haven't got the backbone. Oh, no, because people died in Iraq and they shouldn't have. I'm with you. I was conned by Iraq and Blair. But that can't mean that we never go to war again, for God's sake. Anyway, just my views. Craig Morris, Starmer is a coward and a traitor. He doesn't just need ousting, he needs prosecuting. Well, that's what he's mostly worried about. He's worried about what his autobiography is going to look like and how he's going to be remembered. Well, Keir, don't worry too much about that. You're going to be remembered as a surrender monkey coward, as far as I can see. Oh, let's look it up in the big book of law. Are we allowed to do this? Our people are already being killed by, and have been for the past 20 or 30 years, by the Iranians and their terrorist scum that they support. It's time to put Britain first. Are you with me or against me? Starmer bin Laden, the Ayatollah of all things WEF, the World Economic Forum, not British. I think I've got to agree with you. More and more, I'm thinking this is some conspiracy. It is some conspiracy to degrade our country, to make us lose our sense of identity, our tradition, our culture. I mean, look at the latest thing. The banknotes. It's a pathetic argument on one level. But it's been revealed today that Winston Churchill is going to be replaced by some rats on the £5 or the £20 note, whichever note he's on. Our great literary figures. Jane Austen taken off our notes. Alan Turing, the man who many people say won us the Second World War. He's only just gone on, but they want to take him off and replace him with a bloody badger. This is all part of the cultural Marxist plan. Demoralise us, defeat us, deny us our culture, deny us our traditions, deny us our borders, give newly arrived people many more rights than the population who's been here for years, whatever colour of their skin. I'm beginning to believe there's a cabal and they're against us. In fact, I'll go further. I think most politicians are corrupt, lying, conniving pigs with their snouts in the trough. I've said that for years, but now I take it further. I think they're trying to wreck our country, and we've got to stand up to it. Because if we don't stand up now, our country will be gone. Demographically, it's going to be gone anyway, if you look at the birth rates. We've got to stand up for our culture, our tradition. They even want to get, I'm not a Christian. I was brought up one. I went to a Christian school, Church of England school. I don't like the fact the bishops are in Parliament. I'd get rid of them. But it is our religion. I don't think we need, we don't need it. Everything will be the same, because it won't be, will it? We know then what will be the dominant, even though there's only 4 million of them, the dominant religious thought will become Islam. and therefore give another way in to the extremists. Please remember, I'm not anti-Muslim. I'm anti-Islamist fascist. I wasn't anti-German if I'd been around in the Second World War, and I never have been. I was anti the Nazis. But the left and the cultural Marxists, and you just look at my Twitter line today, you'll see it. There's loads of them. Most of them are bots, or they've only got 1 or 2 followers, but they're all coming from the same hymn sheet. Somebody is orchestrating that. They want you to think that everybody is backing Starmer, that somehow Starmer's again pulled off a diplomatic and a foreign policy triumph. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Because if we leave the Iranians in power, the Iranian regime, although I don't see how they can be, because Daddy-O is being sent off to find his 72 virgins, hasn't he? And it sounds like the new bloke's dead as well, because he's not spoken. I think Trump is winning. I do. I know the mainstream media don't want you to think that because they hate Trump, particularly the BBC. I mean, the BBC, they're involved in this major row with him, aren't they? Where they're using our license fee money to back up their foul. Well, it wasn't a mistake. They tried to alter what the leader, the president of the free world, said. They shouldn't be in a court case. They should all be in a criminal case, including the div who I see is getting off with his huge pension. And don't get me started on Hugh Edwards. I see he's back on the telly with Martin Clunes playing him. And then Starmer, of course Starmer. Jimmy Savile, he never came across his desk. Remember that. For a man who was the director of public prosecutions, he must have been absolutely shit at his job. Because he didn't forensically look at Mandelson, did he? In fact, see, all these things are tied together. Mandelson, it now comes out. Sorry, he came out a long time ago. It's not Mandelson wasn't even vetted by Starmer. Starmer didn't even ask him any questions directly. This is a man who said, "Oh, I'm a forensic, attorney. I do this and I don't do anything. I don't do anything without checking out the big book of international law." No, but you let a chum of the most gross paedophile, it looks like, in history, take the job as the ambassador. And not only that, the 2 people you got to vet him, one of them is now up on a sexual charge as well. Oh, no, his mate is, sorry. He was supporting another bloke who's up on a sex abuse charge. What is it with Labour and paedophiles? And that's before we mention, where is you-know-who? Not Wally, you know who I'm talking about. Let's move on. Let's go. Starmer is a wimp, says Rosseth. Correct. Next one. It's you again. Foco Pair. I can't read your name. You better change your YouTube handle because it's ridiculous. My comments are valid here because since we're not supporting the USA, we can expect they won't be assisting GB or the Falkland Island dependency. I didn't say your point was stupid. I said concentrate on the clear and present danger. We're going to lose the Falklands. I agree with you. Does that make you feel better? And you're right. Why should Trump back us? Now, just a moment. Just go back 2 podcasts or so. You'll see I talked about the Falklands. I compared the one boat that we sent. It took them days to even get out of the English Channel. To the whole armada we sent to the Falklands. And I talked about Mrs. Thatcher 2 podcasts ago. Try and have a listen. I'll have a watch of that. And I think you'll see I answer your questions because I also talk about the special relationship with Reagan was very important to our victory. Very important. I mean, they supplied us with the Sidewinder missiles, were they? But also lots of military intelligence. So we did have a relationship. He has trashed that relationship. I wonder if he wears white underpants, because basically he is putting up the white flag. He disgusts me. Absolutely disgusts me. And I won't rest until he's gone. What about you? Also, do need to have your donations. These are all funded independently, don't forget, by your donations and a bit of advertising. So if you could donate something tonight, just click the little $sign, as much or as little as you can. Most people give about a $5. If you could do that, that would be great. Alternatively, if you're listening and you're not got that link, you can just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt any time of day or night and offer some money there, a $5 upwards. Somebody else again today, one of the lefties, he probably works in civil service, accused me of begging. Oh, he does that, buy me a coffee. He's a beggar. He's a grifter. No, I produce content. If people like the content, they can contribute. That's called running a business. Something that you in the public sector would never in a million years understand. But it's people like you who have wrecked this country. Anyway, let's move on. Jackie Ward, glad you're back, John. Starmer is doing us no favours, correct? If he pees off the USA, we'll be up the creek without a paddle. Tommy went for good. He is the enemy within. Thank you, Jackie. I think I probably agree with everything you've just written there. Yeah, I did have a couple of days. Well, what did I do? I didn't do one Friday and I didn't do one yesterday. Mothering Sunday, I forgot all about it. As you know, my mum died many, many years ago when I was a kid. But obviously, we had a do yesterday for Lisa's mum and indeed for Lisa. And the girls came up. And I'd kind of forgotten about it, really. And I got to Saturday and I think, oh, no, I can't be doing anything else. I've got to concentrate on the family. So that's where I was yesterday. I apologise. But I'm here now. So there we go. Dennis Spink says, I'm with you all the way so far, John. Thank you, my friend. Leona Teal says, we need the right to unite. Otherwise, we're truly fucked. And I think I agree with that, Leanne. I tell you something, Leanne. I saw an interview with Rupert, not Rupert Murdoch, Rupert, what's his name? Rupert Lowe. And I've dismissed him saying, look, he's too late to the party. He'll never get enough following. But it's a fascinating interview where he talks about the death of democracy and about how our whole economy is effectively bankrupt. Done by that guy he lives in Bedford or somewhere. He's into crypto. I thought it was a really good interview. I think his name's... It'll come back to me or somebody will tell me in a moment. But it did make me think we're missing a trick not having Rupert Lowe in with Farage and the rest of them. But it's not going to happen, is it? But Rupert Lowe made me really think over the weekend. I think I watched it on Saturday or something. It's on YouTube anyway. Good evening, John. Starmer dilly-dallying about Iran. He always phrases everything as though it's all on us. Exactly. And then he says, welcome back, John. I've only been away 2 days. It's been the weekend as well. Give me a break, mate. Don't forget, if you want to make a donation, which would be really nice tonight, please click the $sign. If we can't stand up to Islam in our own country, how can we fight it in Iran? Yeah, Denise, it's not about Islam. It's about the Islamo-fascists. We saw them on the streets of London yesterday. If we're going to allow them to preach their hatred in our backyard, if we're going to allow them to be anti-Semite and anti-Jewish and anti-us, basically, on the streets of London, Birmingham, Manchester, you're right. How can we fight them in Iran? We can't. We are at war with the Islamists, with the Islamo-fascists. I keep stressing this, not Muslims. Are you with me or against me? Who we got next? John Walker, 3224. Attacking radical Islam, radical extreme Islam at home and abroad is Starmer's duty and an imperative for protecting us all. Well, that's why I put this thing up on behind me. The first duty of a prime minister is to protect his people. He's turned a blind eye. Treachery is the worst in British history. Well, you can't see. I just think after Mandelson, you cannot trust a man who appoints Mandelson against the wishes and the vetting of his own secret services. He just goes on and does it. He's out of control. I mean, I'd go so far as to say, do we need a mental assessment of Keir Starmer? Has something gone wrong with him? I mean it. I can't understand the decisions. I can't understand why he didn't back on day one when Trump said, can we use your air bases? He should have said, yeah, but I don't want to get involved in the war. But if you want to use them and bomb the fuck out of the Iranian fascist regime, on you go. But he didn't. Why didn't he? And I always say he's got the Midas touch in reverse, that everything he touches doesn't turn to gold, it turns to shit. But maybe he's cleverer than that. Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe he's in the sleeper cell. I'm being a bit fanciful now, but you understand what I'm saying. And then they've pushed a propaganda angle the last few days that somehow, if you believe and support Trump, you're supporting a pedo, you're supporting a fascist, you're supporting an imbecile, you're supporting somebody who makes stupid decisions. Well, I could put all of those things against Starmer. Or it's just a visceral hatred of Trump. And people are falling for it. And then they say, you're unpatriotic. You should support the British government and you shouldn't want to send our boys to war. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to send them to war. But sometimes a country, a nation, an individual, a family has to stand up for what's right. Are you with me or against me? Pam Millett says Starmer's standing by Iran. Backbone, he's got a yellow tattoo all the way down his spine. Starmer is sucking up to Islam. He clearly can't deal with the Iran crisis, says Dennis Spinks. John Godley says, John, I'm with you 100%. Thank you, John. Because today I have felt, even though the majority of people on Twitter or X or whatever you call it, and on Facebook supporting what I say, there's a sizable amount of people who think I'm completely wrong. Now, I have been wrong in the past, and sometimes I am wrong in what I say. But I'm pretty convinced that we're at war with Islamists. Absolutely. And you can't rationalize these people. You can't have a lot. Well, okay, so if we stop today, what would happen? They'll just come again. I agree it could have been a bit more thought out. Or there could be talk now about putting the Shah's son in a temporary basis until we have democratic elections. But do you want to leave a regime in charge where women can't be women? Where homosexuals get thrown off buildings or hung by cranes? Or anybody who protests gets murdered? 30-odd thousand of them slaughtered on the streets of Tehran and Iran. Is that what you want to do? Or do you think we should say, no, we're standing up to this? Evening, John. Starmer is a danger to the entire Western world. This government has destroyed what the Suez crisis didn't kill, the special relationship. Thank you, my friend. Trump called Starmer out today, says Ben Essex, 1325 on YouTube. Starmer had to go back to his team. He's no leader. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? I saw that. Excuse me. When Trump spoke to Starmer on the telephone, he said to him, well, are you with us or not, basically? And Starmer said, well, I'll have to go back to my team and see what they think. And evidently, this is what Trump's saying. Trump said, go back to your team? You're the fucking prime minister. Just make a decision. And that's the problem, isn't it? And then when he does make a decision, i.e. Mandelson, he gets it. I'm taking views on Mandelson tonight as well. He makes the wrong decision every bloody time. So I ask, do they? I mean, I know American presidents have to have every year a sort of cognitive test, don't they? See if they've gone mental or not, right? Not enough for Joe Biden, obviously, but maybe we need to do that with our prime ministers. Just asking. Great description of Miliband, John. Exactly what he is. A dork. Thank you, Leanne. I couldn't believe him this weekend. I couldn't believe him. The way he got so aggressive with Laura Kuenssberg about the windmills. And this whole idea that we could be independently, we don't need oil and gas and all that. How are you going to drive a car then with a fucking windmill, you idiot? Be like the Flintstones, wouldn't it? We'd all have our feet underneath, pedaling furiously. How's that guy got anywhere near power? And obviously, you can't just have a go at him because somebody must have said, who shall we put up this weekend to deflect attention away from Starmer being a useless prick, right? Oh, I know. Ed Miliband. Bring him in. And then Laura Kuenssberg, who's not the greatest interviewer in the world, she stitched him up like a kipper. Like an absolute kipper. So you're a Martian and you land from wherever, and there's this guy talking about windmills. World War III is just about to happen, and he's talking about old Amsterdam. There's a mouse. Where? There on the stair. Right there. He may as well have been singing that. I'd like to beat him to death, metaphorically, with his clogs. It's a joke. Starmer, the UK rent boy. No, we can't read the next bit because that's out of order and you can't prove it. And those Ukrainian rent boys are in court on April the 26th, I've been told, unless it's adjourned again. Let's hope we find out what's been going on there. John, I'm nearly 60 and I cannot fight, so can I tell others to get stuck in? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You've done your bit in the past, Andy, just like me. People say, oh, you fat bastard, you won't be going. Well, no, of course I won't be going. But look, if I have to put up with sacrifices because Starmer won't sort it out, so in other words, did you see how much petrol, electricity, gas is going to go up? Have you seen how many jobs they're predicting we're going to lose? There's a shoe factory in, can't remember where it was. It was on the news today. 2,000 jobs there. The knock-on effect of what Iran is doing is going to be atrocious. Now, you could say, yeah, well, that's why Trump shouldn't have invaded. Oh, okay, then. What we should do is turn a blind eye like that to the fact that he's killing homosexuals, he's killing women, he's making women second-class citizens. And that's the bit I don't get. All the liberals, the uber liberals, the Birkenstock shoe wearers, oh, got to be careful there because there's sport about them, but all of them Birks, be kind, yeah? They all don't give a shit if it's happening in another country and they don't have to see it. It's like the Oscars. Did you see that? What a load of woke crap that was last night. I've only seen the highlights. There weren't many. But compare that to the BAFTAs. Now, I swear the film about a guy with Tourette's, I watched it. I think I talked about it on the show last week sometime. I watched it. No, I didn't talk about it. I think I did a load of tweets about it. I thought it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And those couple of movie stars, the black ones, not the two who went up on stage when he shouted out the N-word. He shouted out the N-word, which is not pleasant. But he shouted it out. The two lads on stage took it in their stride and carried on. But then we've had like all the grievance soldiers come out. Oh, it's so offensive. You don't understand because you're white. You don't know what it feels like for somebody to call you that. Well, it's okay when another black person calls you it, isn't it? Because I used to like that band. You know, the one with attitude. Oh, good rap band, right? But it's okay for them to have it in the title. Oh, yes, because they're reclaiming the word. Just like it's okay for homosexuals to use the Q word, but not you or me if you're heterosexual. It's bizarre. And as I said before, it's like a top trump of grievance or victimhood. Shame. Shame on those people. The way they attacked that John Dixon or whatever his name is, what he's had to put up with in his life. He didn't shout out the N-word to be offensive. He couldn't stop it. And how ironic that there's been a film made to try and explain to us what Tourette's is, and he ends up in all the papers. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't harm himself, because it's been incredible, the attacks on him. Everything from some Burke in Vanity Fair saying it doesn't exist, it's just people making it up, right? Through to other people wanting to blame him. If you want to blame anyone, blame the bloody BBC or BAFTAs who put a microphone there. But even so, I think him saying that word, if he's got Tourette's, is not a problem. There you are. That's a controversial view, isn't it? Stick that in your PC pipe and smoke it. Because it's about, like everything, just like how they want to clamp down on free speech, it's about intent. Intent. He did not intend to cause harm or offence. It just happened. He has Tourette's. Like when he called the girl a slag when she comes out of the shop, the chippy, I think it was, in the movie, and he ends up getting a kick in off her brothers. right? Put in hospital. He didn't say that on purpose, as it says in the movie. Who'd want to pretend they've got Tourette's and end up being ostracized or beaten up like that? No one. But those woke liberal twats at BAFTA, I couldn't believe it. And now I've seen the film, I'm angrier than ever about it. How did I get onto that? Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, that's it. I've got it off my chest now. If you've got a view on that, feel free to join in. John Walker, Starmer out. I agree. But his replacement is too hideous to contemplate. Which incompetent idiot would it be? We need an immediate election. Hold on a minute, John. Just get yourself a strong cup of tea with sugar in it, because I'm going to tell you who's the latest replacement for Starmer. I'm just going to have a drink of water. It was revealed over the weekend that someone's been practicing to become the leader. Ex-Home Secretary who couldn't stop the boats, Yvette Cooper. Yvette Cooper wants to be the next leader of Labour and therefore the Prime Minister. And her colleague, who's it now? Who's it was going to be the Chancellor if she's in charge? It's not Lammy. It's something almost as ridiculous as that. So that's who wants the job. Dennis Spinks, I heard a pathetic reason for people want flowers on our fivers and tenors, etc. I think it's all bullshit, John. Well, I do as well. They're saying all that. Oh, yeah, it's going to be nature. It's going to be animals. I tell you what countries put animals on. Countries with no history. Countries with no culture. Countries without any tradition, without any inventors, without any great monumental historical figures. That's who does that. Not countries like Great Britain. And to think of taking off, forget about Winston Churchill for a moment and the insult of replacing him with a rat. They also want to take Alan Turing off. I thought it had been protected because he was a homosexual. But no, they're going to get rid of him. I don't know what they're replacing him with. I haven't got a clue. There's a joke there, but I'm not going to say it. And then, what's her name? Jane Austen. Jane Austen, she's getting booted off. William Shakespeare, is he still on them? They'll probably boot him off as well. Oh, we can't be having that. They're all symbols of British power, British supremacy, British culture, British tradition. Oh, we can't have any of that crap. Put a rat on there. A rat for Winston Churchill. There's a rat on me fiver. What am I going to do? As UB40 would sing. You couldn't make this crap up, could you? You couldn't. And that's why I wonder, is there a fifth column working here? Is this them coming out, the cultural Marxists? Because, I keep wondering, when am I going to get my door knocked? You said this. We're taking you in for this. We want to question you on this. Which particular thing is you want to question me? Oh, no, I can't tell you to get to the station. Get down the station. It's going to happen. It's going to happen as sure as eggs is eggs. John Godley. Oh, man, you're superb. Look at that. John Godley's just given me a super sticker here on YouTube and donated £10 to the cause. John, thank you very, very much indeed. That's John Godley 2459 on YouTube donating a tenner. See, it's easy to do. Why don't you have a go? John, you say you're not anti-Muslim, but in the end we'll have to choose a side. I'm not sure about that, big boy. I'm not sure about that because I don't think it's about sides in that binary way. I really don't. But we do have to sort out the Islamofascists without a shadow. Starmer said he lied to him. How could he have lied to him if he never talked to him? Who are you talking? Oh, Ben Essex. You're talking about Mandelson. Yeah, that's right. Starmer's first excuse was, oh, Mandelson lied to me. Whoop. Mandelson, I hate that name. I'll never say that name again. Mandelson. Right, he did say that. He said he lied to him. But then his defence changed to, oh, no, I never talked to him. So you're right. Ben Essex, 1325 on YouTube. That doesn't add up, does it? But none of it does. I put out a tweet, I think it was Friday or something, saying, does anybody believe the bullshit Starmer's coming out with? I think I had over 100,000 responses. People saying, no, we don't believe him. Nobody believes Starmer, what he's saying about Mandelson. Boris Johnson got the sack for lying and the cake and they did the bit about that MP, Chris, whatever his name was. But it was all the same thing. Starmer has lied to the Commons. I've been in politics and news for 30-odd years. If you lie in the Commons, you've got to go. How come Starmer is still there? I'll tell you, because somebody somewhere or some people somewhere have decided now's the time to come out of the closet and basically or reveal themselves, and this to the British public. I think it's just disgusting. And right across the I don't trust any of them. I don't. And that's why I was saying to you, watch that Rupert Lowe video. I wish I could remember the guy. He's from Bedford. He's a crypto guy. Interesting fella by the look of it. I can't remember his name. But anyway, I thought the video was very good. I'm fuming, John. I feel sorry for our veterans that served our great country against the very people we've opened our borders to and freely walk around spewing hatred towards us, says Dazzle Wales. Thank you very much. Good one. Very good one. Alien 8 Intelligence Agencies just donated £2. Thank you very much indeed. He's just clicked the little $sign on the YouTube video and said, great show as always. Cheers, mate. Well, thank you, Alien. It's very kind of you. I hope you can afford to do that, but thank you. Really, thank you. Sorry I missed tonight. Just got in from work. Starmer is a coward and a turncoat, says Annette Locke. Annette, are you feeling all right? Because you're normally a bit more extreme than that, but that's still good by me. Leanne Teal, John, of course it's deliberate. As much as I despise Starmer, he definitely knows what he's doing, and it ain't going to be good. Annette Locke's back on. She's warmed up now. She's got her coat off since she's been back in from work. Trump has to finish the job this time. It cannot be allowed to stand again. It's a danger to the Western world. Absolutely. And Annette says she'd like to see Ed Miliband tied to a windmill. Yeah. Remember when Simon Le Bon, the Wild Boys, whatever that song was. And he goes round on the windmill, doesn't he? And into the water and out again. It's a rip-off from, isn't it a rip-off from one of the Vietnamese war films? I think it is, but I don't know. And the windmill got stuck, evidently, and he nearly drowned. Well, he's got a habit of doing that. He did that with his yacht as well, didn't he? The man with Tourette's did nothing wrong. He can't help it. If he could get, he wouldn't have Tourette's. Oh, if you could have helped it, he wouldn't have Tourette's. Well said. Absolutely right. She says, sorry, my brain farted. Then he can't help his condition. That's right. Good evening, John. Great work, bud, says Diamond 21450. Thank you, my friend. Your potato and Starmer look-alike is funny, John, says Dennis Spinks. Only Starmer is half-baked. I like that. Thank you very much indeed. They are some symbolic of culture. That's why they don't like them. I presume that's referring to the idea of replacing the fivers and the tenors and the rest of it. Mind you, they don't want us to have, let's be honest about this. They don't want us to have fivers and tenors and 20s and 50s, do they? Because they want a cashless society. That's the next thing that people like Starmer are pushing, because that's why Starmer wants his ID card. It'll be so much easier. Everything can be on your card. And we can know every time you go to the bog, every time you go to the bookies, or you're spending a bit too much in the bookies. Oh, I noticed you went for 28 pints. It'd be worse than living with our Lisa, where she counts up how many beers you must have had by what you spent. That's why I don't use my debit card. I use cash. But you know what I mean? It'll be terrible. Talking of which, she's at work tonight, but she'll be back later with her big book and she'll be checking to see what the donations are like. Thank God. Thank God you're there, Dazza, because Dazza has just donated £2. A super sticker on YouTube. Thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, if you're not watching on YouTube, but you are listening on a podcast, you can always come back and watch the podcast later on the telly. You just subscribe. It's free to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. So you can watch it twice. Lots of people now watch it live, but then also download the podcast, which is free, and then listen to that again when they're walking the dog. I pity the dog if they get worked up. Strawberry Atheist has saved my life. 12114, Peter McCormack. Yeah, that's his name. He's the guy from Bedford who does this very interesting YouTube show. I don't think it's every day, but he interviewed, he's a crypto guy. So it kind of almost lost me there because I don't understand crypto. But this interview with Rupert Lowe is well worth, I think it's an hour and, about an hour and 10 minutes long. Download it, listen to it tonight in bed. Rupert Lowe says some very, very interesting things. He's also been saying today, and I agree with him, and so is Peter Hitchens, that Ian Huntley should have been strung up. He should have been executed. And they both were also saying, there's been a real foul rape, hasn't there, again? We've got to bring back the death penalty stuff. I'm with them 100%. I've been saying it for years. Everyone thinks I'm a barbarian. No, needs to happen. I see 3 migrants are up in court. We can't say anything, whether they're guilty or not, we don't know. But they're accused of gang raping a girl on Bournemouth Beach. They came over in a boat. See, this is the problem. Starmer, for all his, I'm a good person, I'll be kind. Mr. Starmer, how many people were in that boat today? Ooh. I'll have to ask one of my junior researchers. Go on then. Ask them if they know where just one of them comes from. Just one. And if they had a passport. Oh, you don't know, but you're still going to let them into our country while you're taking the knee? You expect us all to bend over, do you? And not complain? Not worry about that? Every day there's a court case. Well, that's what it feels like. I might be wrong. I don't know. Jackie Ward. Yvette Cooper as Prime Minister. Is this a comedy show? Jackie, don't shoot me. I'm only the piano player, love. That's the story. It was in the papers at the weekend and it's got worse today. Yvette Cooper fancies herself. Well, somebody's got to fancy her. But if you're married to Ed Balls. Anyway, she wants to be the Prime Minister. I'm trying to think who the Chancellor is with her. It's somebody else. And if you know, let me know. Yvette Cooper's PM. It's that's it. They're like dummies with someone's hand up their arse and they only share one brain cell. Annette Locke, she's really warming up now. Who's this? It was one I forwarded to John from Memes on England. What are you on about, Richard? I haven't got a clue. Hi, John. Our PM is a Marxist. The last one was Jeremy Corbyn, and Starmer couldn't wait to shaft him. Really? On Sunday, listening to Ed the Clown Davey, he wants to produce our own scientists, but to produce our own nuclear weapons. God help us all. Yeah, you're right. What is he? Do they still want to legalise cannabis? Because did you see him dancing at his conference? It's all over YouTube today. Anyway, Rupert Lowe is the most honest politician I've ever seen or heard, says Lean Tail 7251. Well, he's gone up in my estimation, I've got to say it. They should hang them, John. They're making all the pubs so they can't afford to open. We need some entertainment. We certainly do. Well, you do know the attack on the pubs, that's all tied together. They don't want us going in pubs because going in pubs, that's where we talk. That's where we decide that we hate them. It's all tied up. It's all tied together. And more, do I sound like a conspiracy nut? Because I used to really hate people. Oh, yeah, but it's this and it's that, and add that in and that. But it feels like that now. It genuinely feels like we're living in some warped movie where everything that was normal is no longer acceptable. I had people on Twitter today saying, oh, you're that, you're this, you're that, right? Because I was saying, I want to stand up for our country and I want to fight fascism. It's a shame for them, I think, because the word Islam comes before the fascist bit and therefore they think you're being anti-Muslim. I don't care about religion. You can have any religion you want. I'll let you go off and do it. Just do whatever you want to do. Don't make me do it, though. And certainly don't make my kids or grandkids do it. No, that's wrong. Because it's all gobbledygook. It's all crap. It's all rubbish. It's all absolute rubbish. And how can you be sent to prison for burning a fairy tale book? I don't get it. I'm sorry. It's the 21st century and people are being sent to prison if they show a picture or a book. How come Johnny Rotten never got arrested with public image? What's that line? Pray to a religion where his dog spelled backwards or something? Your religion, not my religion. Anyway. Anyway, that's me finished. Hope you enjoyed it. I bet you missed me, didn't you? But I'm back, and I'll be back again tomorrow. I don't know whether it'll be at 6 or a bit earlier. I'm dog sitting this week from tomorrow, so I'll see how the setup is. If we've got enough flights to do it at 6, I'll try and do it at 6. Thank you for watching tonight, and a big thank you to everybody who's donated. It's really, really important. And don't forget, you can still donate now by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. You don't have to agree with me about the war. Well, I think you do, actually, because I think otherwise you're a coward. But you don't have to agree with everything else I say, is what I'm trying to get at, I suppose. But I think we're under threat like we've never been under threat before. Sorry, I'm yawning. That's how tired I am. Jackie Ward, she's given me the red hearts. Thank you, Jackie. And Dennis Spink says, I get where you're coming from, John, and good show. Well, thank you. I try my hardest. I truly do. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow at 6, but make sure you register at Jon Gaunt YouTube, Jon Gaunt page, Jon Gaunt TV, because then you'll know when I'm doing it, yeah? And I've got some pretty exciting news to share with you very, very soon. Right, until tomorrow, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, 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 don't forget to tell them that you love them. See ya.